Welcome back everyone. Today we'll recap a 2011 Canadian found footage supernatural horror film named Grave Encounters. For their ghost hunting reality show, a production crew locks themselves inside an abandoned mental hospital that's supposedly haunted. And it might prove to be all too true. Kindly remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. At the beginning of the movie, we see a man named Jerry Hartfield who is the producer of a paranormal reality television program named Grave Encounters. Next, we are shown episode 6 of Grave Encounters, in which we see Lance Preston, who is the producer of the show. He and his crew are invited to examine the abandoned Collingwood Psychiatric Hospital, where unexplained phenomena have been reported for years. He tells that tonight he and his crew will perform an 8-hour lockdown. After this, a local town historian named Morgan comes there, who tells that this hospital was built in 1893. The conditions here were very bad and patients had to sleep on the floor and sometimes without blankets and clothes. Here Lance asks him about Arthur Friedkin, to which he tells that Friedkin was a Harvard-trained neurologist who was a head physician here from 1937 to 1948. He performed unethical experiments and lobotomies on the hospital's patients before being killed by 6 of them. Now the hospital's caretaker Kenny takes them on a hospital tour. Lance asks him if this place is haunted, to which he tells that he does not know, but he has seen some pretty weird stuff here occasionally. At night, old pipes and buildings make noises and there is a sense of not being alone. Then he shows them a window and tells them that he closes it every night, but in the morning he finds it open. That's why they mark that place as a hot spot. After this, he brings them to a room where something is written on the whole wall. Kenny tells that it was written by the patient lived here. Then he tells them in the washroom that a girl had killed herself there. Now he takes them to the service tunnels and tells them that they connect the whole building. Once he was in this tunnel when the air got real cold. He felt like someone was watching him. Lance then meets a contractor named Gary Crawford who tells him that while he was doing renovation work here, his workers heard some noises here and their tools also disappeared. Then he tells that someone had pushed one of his workers off the ladder. Then he meets a couple who tells him that when they came here, the guy saw someone at the end of the hall wearing a white hospital gown and had a shaved head. After this, he goes to Gardiner and asks him if he ever noticed anything strange around the building. He says that he has recently started working here, but Lance gives him some money and convinces him to lie on camera, and he says that he has seen a ghost here. Next, we see a psychic named Houston Gray who is called by Lance to assist in the investigation. Houston says that he is feeling some energy here, and then he tells about a dark spirit that could also be a demon. On coming to the bathroom, he tells that he can feel a girl here and says that she died here in the bathtub and the spirit is still with them. But then we learn that he was acting all this and Houston is a fake medium. They then set up camp near the main entrance and position static cameras throughout the building. Now Kenny locks them in the building and Lance tells him to open the door at 6 a.m. Now when TC goes to a bathroom, he captures a door slamming behind him, which frightens him. He calls the rest of the people and says that he thought that some of them must have done this. Lance now tries to contact the spirit and asks the spirit to show its presence, but nothing happens. Then suddenly there is a very loud sound which scares them all. After this, in a room, they see that a stretcher is lying down and its tire is spinning. Now before they could understand anything, they hear someone running on the floor above them. Lance confirms with his team, but no one is on the floor above them. Then they go upstairs and they felt that someone is messing with them. But Sasha thinks it's real and takes out the EVP. She tries to talk to Spirit and this time she hears some sound in the recorder and then someone raises up Sasha's hair. Seeing this, Sasha runs away in fear, and Houston and Lance do not understand anything about what just happened. Then they go to Sasha who says that she has to get out of here now. So Lance tells Houston to take her down and come back. Now Lance goes back with Houston and TC and Houston tries to contact Ghost. They ask the Ghost to give them a sign, but this time nothing happens. Lance now takes a few pics from his still cameras that capture orbs and shadows. TC states that it's 4:40 a.m. and Lance tells them to pack all the things and they will then leave. Now when they start leaving from there, they lose their way. Lance tries to contact Matt but does not get any response. Now they all start arguing with each other and TC sits there. But then after some time all 3 of them come down, and because the door was locked they could not even go out. Lance asks everyone to start packing the stuff and get ready for when Kenny comes. Matt goes to take out all the cameras and when he comes near the window he sees that the window is open. He closes the window and tries to contact Lance but gets no response. Then he hears some sounds but he feels that those people are messing with him. Now when Matt does not come back even after a long time, Lance tries to contact him but he too does not get any response. Sasha says that it is dark inside and Matt might have been fallen hurt. Then they all decide to go find him and Lance says that when they are going inside, they will film it too. Now they see that Matt's stuff is scattered in the hallway. Sasha and Lance go on to find him and TC starts looking for him there. He starts going up the stairs when he hears some sound from below and as soon as he looks back, someone pushes him. Lance and Sasha come up to him and pick him up and come back downstairs. TC tells them that someone pushed him but no one was there. He tells Lance to call Kenny over. Lance pulls out the phone and sees that the phone is not getting signals. Now TC becomes very frustrated and he tries to break the door. After a few attempts, he even breaks the door but is shocked to see that there is a hallway on the other side of the door. Now they get confused because they had come in through the same door and now there was another hallway there. But when Sasha closes the door, it is the same door they came in. Then they get an exit and they all become very happy. But after breaking the door there is also a hallway there, seeing which they become more frustrated. Here Sasha tells that it is 8:34 a.m. but it is still night outside. Now after a while they all fall asleep exhausted and Lance tells them that it is 1:12 p.m. and they have no choice but to wait for Kenny. Then when everyone is sleeping, one of their light stand falls and the lights explode due to which they all get up in fear. Now Lance tells that it is 8 o'clock at the night and he shows that all their food is raw. Lance says they should try to get out through the tunnels, but TC refuses and says he saw a fire escape and they should try to get out from there. Now they head off to find a stairwell and get the roof access, but find that the stairs are blocked off by a randomly built wall blocking their escape. The crew then hears what sounds like Matt screaming and runs through the halls hoping to find him. Once they find the room where they heard Matt's screams, they encounter a metal bed frame that levitates into the air and they run in terror. Now Lance says that he tried to find a way out from here but he could not find it anyway and this building is changing time and again. They are all very tired so they will try to sleep again but this time they will sleep in shifts. Then after a while when they wake up they find the word hello scratched onto Sasha's back. After this, he tries to contact Matt again and this time he hears his voice on the walkie-talkie. They once again go looking for him but then they see someone running there. They think it is Matt so they goes after him. But there they see a girl in the corner of the room and when she turns, her face distorts grotesquely. They flee from the entity in fear. And Houston is separated from the other crew members. Houston wanders the halls in the darkness and is then lifted into the air and choked, before a bright light bursts from the end of the hallway which sends him flying and kills him. Here Lance, Sasha, and TC discover that they have been fitted with hospital identification bracelets bearing their names. The trio roams the halls again when an arm grabs Sasha. Lance frees her and they run down the hallways. While Lance comforts Sasha, TC yells at them to come into a room where Matt is sitting. Matt, wearing a hospital gown and is now insane. They take him from there to another room and try to talk to him. He says that they can leave the building once they are better. The four rest inside a room and when they wake up, several hands are reaching through the ceiling and walls. The group flees into a room full of bathtubs and finds Matt staring down at a bathtub full of blood. TC attempts to pull Matt away from the tub, but a figure emerges from the blood and drags TC into it. Sasha and Lance tip the tub over but TC is not inside it which causes Sasha and Matt to become hysterical. Lance finds an elevator but struggles to pull the doors open. He leaves Sasha and Matt behind to look for something to try open the doors. He yanks a rod off of a hospital cart and notices a bloody severed tongue in the corner of the room. He then sees a ghostly figure huddled up in the corner of the ceiling which chases after him. He makes it back to Sasha and Matt and successfully tries opening the elevator doors. He hears the figure making its way to them, so he and Sasha keep the entity at bay by keeping the door closed. While the two are busy, Matt leans forward and plunges several feet down the elevator shaft, killing himself. Lance and Sasha enter the tunnels beneath the building in search of an exit. Sasha falls ill and begins to cough up blood violently. The two stop to sleep and after some time a mist starts forming there and Sasha is also gone. Lance, now all by himself, wanders the tunnels for several hours. He kills and feeds on live rats to survive. He then passes out and after waking up, finds a door leading into Friedkin's operating room, which contains evidence of occult rituals and graphic photos of his operations. He sees apparitions of Friedkin and several nurses and is dragged away from his camera. A lobotomized Lance records himself proclaiming that he is cured and allowed to leave and the movie ends here. Thanks for watching!